No, I have no doubts because all of those skills are extremely important for school-going children. So yeah, they're definitely all extremely important. Um, so do you have any like specific examples of how you've seen chess benefit some of the kids that you've worked with?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I've been involved in a number of projects, throughout my coaching life, and there was one very extremely powerful one. We actually we worked with MTN at one stage, and we went. It was in Gauteng. We went to a school called Sizwe, and it was a high school, and they actually had a difficult metric year, the year before. So we went there and we taught the whole school how to play chess, and we were very much involved with the matriculants as well. And so but then what actually happened afterwards, they would stay after school and they would play against each other. But as they were playing, they would, do their homework. Because what we introduced, in chess is also literature. You introduce literature that in order for you to improve, you have to look at this and that. There are various sites that you can go to. You have to read up a little bit. You have to do some bit of research in order for you to improve yourself. And we found out that there was a really big impact on the educational side of things. And we actually even had one learner who got 100% in mathematics, but it was standard grade then. Yeah, of course, and I'm not claiming that it was only chess, but basically it opens the door. It opens the door to it's an attitude. It is more than anything an attitude. It's like the many different experiments and arguments by many various experts that says, the Asian kids are leading kids when it comes to mathematics because of the attitude that the society has to not only mathematics, but they were finding out that it's just in paying attention. And they were saying that, in those communities, a lot of them, for example, they would grow rice. And the whole process of how to grow rice is, it's a process that is you have to be careful. You have to look back. You have to be really paying attention to a number of things. And that has rubbed off to the general ability. And they were even going further and saying, so I'm still answering the question, where I'm saying such an attitude, where they were actually saying that they made a questionnaire which had nothing to do with mathematics. But this questionnaire had so many questions that needed to be answered. It was around 100 and something. And they were doing it in various areas around the world. And they found that in the Western countries, the kids would not even finish the questionnaire. They just wouldn't even finish it. But the kids in the Asian countries would finish the questionnaire. So it's all about the attitude that you are having, So what I'm trying to say is that is for me what chess can do for the learner. And I have seen it do this with many different learners. I mean, I teach at a school at the moment, and you can actually tell, and even some kids who at first cannot concentrate that much, that there are some problems with concentration, and then you see, once you let the chess bug, so to speak, get hold of them, then there is an outlet. There is somewhere where the kid can all of a sudden think. And the point is, it's not about thinking to try and find an answer like you would normally have at school, because at school the structure of the education is very much about question and answering. Your thinking process has to lead to some answer, right? But so chess gives you that opportunity to think without necessarily having to come up with an answer per se, because you cannot come up with an answer because your opponent is constantly changing the situation, constantly putting problems in your path. So yeah, that is what I have noticed in terms of what chess can do with various students. But I have to mention this. The game itself does not necessarily mean it will translate to benefits. Look, if I gave somebody a chessboard and say, well, this is how you move a chessboard and play, the person will be playing chess. They can play chess every day of their lives, but that is moving plastic. It's a game. You understand what I mean? There's a difference. They would be playing the game and they might even start playing well, and they might even go to chess tournaments and they might do well in chess tournaments. But that has nothing to do with necessarily how they would be able to transform themselves. It has to be something that you show the student that right now you have to say to the student, we are working on logic right now. And once we're working on logic, you have to say, the student has to understand, if I can solve this, I am able to solve any other logical problem, because I will take the steps. First, I will see, what do I know about the situation? The question of asking questions and how to ask questions. This you learn in chess, that you don't, the process you need is to be able, you need to ask yourself questions, but there's a skill to this.
Yeah.
You cannot ask yourself questions you cannot answer. If you ask yourself questions you cannot answer, you are not moving, you're not moving forward. You need to ask yourself questions that you can answer, but small little questions. And when if you hit a brick wall, you need to be able to move around the brick wall. It's not about finding the answer. It's like what I'm saying. It's not about what is the answer to this. It's about the understanding of the environment, the understanding of what I'm trying to do. And you learn the different techniques of moving around and saying, okay, in this process, I'm not doing anything. Let's try prophylactic thinking, for an example. That is something that you do a lot in chess. And you say, I'm going to do nothing. Okay, I want to find a solution. If I am doing nothing, what will happen? Right? If I stay static, what's going to happen? Okay, that is going to happen, and that is going to happen, and that is going to happen. Sometimes you might have to make preventive measures in order to move forward. And that situation is like that in life. If you're in a crisis, first you might have to just simply deal with the crisis. Make sure that you're not sliding further into a problem. So there are many ways to tackle problems, and that for me is what I've seen, that transformation in kids and people who play chess, and more importantly, the confidence. Chess gives you that confidence because all it's doing, it's making you aware, right? It's making you aware of what you can do once you start practicing it, and that's that.
I was actually sitting here thinking while you were talking that it sounds to me like something that would build confidence.